Ready, aim, fire.
So, off to Novigrad then?
Yeah, let's get going.
Let's go.
The oak is dead.
The oak, the crones. I fear that was your last feast.
What of our acorns?
Your acorns? No idea. Path to the summit's clear. You can always go looking for them.
Or just go home?
This is no longer no man's land. It's no longer the lady's land. It's all yours.
But what are we to do?
Come, Geralt. It's time.
Manage. On your own.
Then non-humans. Thought it was mages the hunters and the temple guard were after.
Mages left. Hunters needed a new quarry. Hatred and prejudice will never be eradicated. And witch hunts will never be about witches. To have a scapegoat, that's the key. Humans always fear the alien, the odd. Once the mages had left Novigrad, folk turned their anger against the other races. And as they have for ages, branded their neighbors their greatest foes.
Dundee Lion! Ready some tankards! With guests!
Geralt! Ciri! When I learned Geralt had found you,
Glad to see you in one piece too, Dandelion.
Where have you two been?
Just finished hunting down the crones of Velen and a general of the Wild Hunt.
Well, you've had a busy morning then, haven't you?
in fact, you look terrible. Like you could really use some rest.
Gladly take some. Point me to a room.
Of course. Come on, little swallow. I'll take you.
Let's meet later, Geralt. I've a little matter to resolve. I'll freshen up, then await you in the square in Gildorf.
Right. Anyone here besides us? Lodge of Sorceresses. Triss and Yen were supposed to gather the remnants.
They're working on it. Triss is upstairs, waiting for you. Yennefer's gone to crippled Kate's.
Yen? At that portside dive? Why?
Didn't inform me. Imagine that. Ah, and that elf of yours moved into the Ruby Suite. Told me to tell you he's waiting, too.
Gave him your best room?
He didn't exactly ask. I prepared another room for him, but he blew past me and locked himself in the Ruby. Hasn't peeked out since. Barely eats, drinks only water, and the only thing I've heard from him is, I wish to know when Gwynblade and Zeriel arrive.
Thanks. Looks like I'll have my hands full.
Geralt the Monster Slayer. Otherwise, care to tell me? Won't find any better.
Got a minute?
For you, my friend, always.
See you, Dandelion.
What? It's you, the White Wolf, the famous Geralt of Rivia, am I right?
You hear about me?
Hear about you? I know all there is to know. I learned it from Dandelion himself, who's forever telling stories of you and your adventures together, of your hunt for the dragon, and how you outfoxed the Sylvan midst the hemp, of the battle for the bridge, and how he saved you from bandits.
Like to hear that one sometime myself.
One never tires of Dandelion's tales and ballads. Why, all will be amazed when I tell them the wolf himself takes joy in listening to them. Now, tell me how I may be of service. Something to wet your tongue?
You worked here long? Earlier, I mean.
Under old Mr. Wiley, you mean? Why, no. I answered a notice. What did it say? Help wanted to assist in the oversight of an exclusive establishment with refined diversions. Baccalaureate freshly gained, 10 years of tavern experience a plus, knowledge of the common tongue, elder tongue, and contemporary poetry required.
Wouldn't you have been better off staying at the academy, or?
I never passed the entrance exam. Neither do I know a lick of elder, though I can indeed play a ditty or three. Also, I've committed all Master Dandelion's works to memory.
Ah, I see. Need a hanky? Gotta admit, never expected this of you.
You humans have unusual tastes. How did you fare on Bald Mountain?
Need to ask? You're a sage.
I ask as a courtesy. A concept you clearly forgot when you left without uttering a word.
Ciri was in a hurry.
I know, so she wrote in her letter. But that is not my concern. You eliminated Imlerith adeptly. So adeptly, you might say you inspired me.
Meaning?
The loss of one of his great generals has weakened Eredin significantly. 2 others remain.
How do we get rid of them?
Caranthir is a loyalist, but Gels, that is another story. He was a devoted follower of our former king. And as it happens, Eredin poisoned our beloved ruler.
How do you know? Or are you bluffing?
Eredin made sure very few individuals knew of his betrayal. Most are now dead.
Didn't answer my question.
How matters not. What matters is, I know. and I've an idea how to use this knowledge.
Haven't mentioned killing Gels.
Such drastic means are not always necessary.
So you probably plan to offer him a deal.
Brilliant deduction. Bravo.
Fine. So what do you propose?
Why, to bring Gels here. Show him the truth of what happened.
Fabulous plan, if we only knew where to find him.
We do. In the land of the NL.
Land of the NL?
You don't recall. After all, you did travel with Eridin for some time. The land of the Alder folk. The world where we arrived centuries ago. A world that is now our home. The Red Riders come from there. And it is there where we will find Gels.
Think you're forgetting something. You and Ciri might know how to travel between worlds, but me? Not so much.
You clearly know there are many other worlds apart from the one where we now stand. They're linked by passages, hidden gateways that afford travel from one world to another. Of course, few know of these gateways. Even fewer can locate them.
Elven sages, for example?
For example. One such passage will open soon near where we are, fortuitously enough. Between this noble edifice and the butcher's yard. That's our chance. Shall we go?
Meet you there. Gotta see to something along the way.
Hurry. I'd rather not loiter in the street any longer than necessary.
Or you can all go suck a devil.
You heard. We've opened up a cabinet at the old Rosemary Park.
Let's play Bert and the Witch.
They want more and more till you ain't got with your soiled breeches.
What?
I know this house. Supposed to drive a godling from here.
Supposed to?
Decided it was harmless.
The passage is here, past this wall. The passage is here, past this wall. Yes? This is the place. Once we enter, there'll be no returning until we reach Gels. Ready?
Yes, let's go.
Remember, wherever you land, search for a place that looks like this one. We shall meet sooner or later.
Mean we'll be separated?
It's possible. I lack your ward's talent. Zirel is the lady of time and space. I merely know how to use this arcane knowledge to a limited degree. It's time.
I hate portals.
Welcome to the Dido-wet Desert.
This somewhere in our world?
Ever seen such canyons in your world? Come, you must go.
What is this place?
A very old world, thoroughly raped and destroyed.
Anything live here?
Mainly desert creatures, able to survive months on end without water. Oh, and large sand crabs beneath the surface. We must be careful they don't sense us.
And before? Were there any people? Or elves?
Do you believe humanoids have a monopoly on destroying worlds?
So what did live here? Sentient monsters of some sort?
Look at those cliffs. Remind you of anything?
Look a bit like the bed of a giant river.
Or the bottom of a sea?
Mean there were water creatures here once?
No creatures. Merely a sea.
Trying to say that...
That there are many different worlds and even more forms of life. Many of them intelligent, much more so in fact than you humans. But as it turns out, not even that could stop them from exhausting all the resources of their world. To the last drop. Ah, the portal.
Looks more like a ruin.
Appearances can be deceiving.
So what are we waiting for?
For it to open. Shouldn't take but a few moments.
What's going on?
The sand crabs have sensed our presence.
Wonderful. That stench. They just keep coming.
Can't hope to get through the wall. As the portal opens, you must jump in after me. 3, 2, 1. Perfect. On time.
What a relief.
Quickly, jump in. Faster, Geralt.
Avila. There it is. Vapors don't look terribly inviting. longer and I'd have suffocated. Should avoid those clouds, or bolt through them. Place of power. Should draw from it. Avoid those clouds, or bolt through them. death if I don't hide somewhere. And I gotta find that next passage quick. If I can just find cover along the way, I should make it to the passage. Light in a place like this? Someone must have lit it. With any luck, it was a certain grouchy elven sage. Snow's up to the rooftops. Wonder how long this blizzard's been blowing. Might have expected this.
Ugh!